Worldwide movement, peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq hollering at you one more again. I noticed. Pardon me. That was pollen, folks. Oh man, thank you all for chiming in once again, for checking me out. I love you all. Hope you all having a fantastic day. Yeah, that was pollen on my nose there from a flower I was sniffing. I tend to do that. I love enjoying nature. I make no secret about that. So, yeah, man, another beautiful day. Um, Incredible energy, right? To absorb and thrive off of, to interchange with, right? As we radiate our own beautiful energy. Uh, yeah, I appreciate it. All right, so we're going to call this video Cycles of Music and Cycles of Our Lives, right? And I say that because often we find that the music we have of a certain age, decade, or time, right, uh, often tells the story of, or mimics, or is deeply affected and impacted by our lives and the cycles of our lives and what's going on. Like my man Marvin Gaye, right? What's going on? Talk to me for real, huh? And that's the beauty of music, you know. I can only speak from my perspective. And this is true with all of us, right? We all got different kinds of music that we grow up on, different kinds of music that touch us or impact us throughout our lives, right? But it does indeed have a powerful impact. And there's a reason for that, right? Because music actually has a multi-dimensional aspect to it that is perceived and very much harmonic with our higher selves, right? So music is very powerful in that way. But in terms of the cycles of our lives, I mean, look back into uh, probably an oft referenced era, the 60s, right? Um, and listen to that music, right? And you hear a music of struggle, a music of resistance, right? A music of principles, right? Um, yeah, man, by everybody. People using their voice to speak up for justice, right? Equality, love. Um, and that is very much expressed by the music of that time, right? Very, very, very much represented in that music. Um, you know, great James Brown. You could say he did all that in his music alone, right? Um, Take a look at the 70s, right? When we were coming out of that turbulent time of the 60s, that decade ended with a lot of pain, right? You know, a lot of our hopeful leaders assassinated, you know, um, whether that be Brother Malcolm, Dr. King, you know, President Kennedy. Powerful forces, transformative forces snuffed out. And that was very hurtful to the nation. And you heard that in the music of the early 70s, right? And how many people sought different ways to ease that pain, often in drugs like heroin, right? And you heard that in the music. Listen to Curtis Mayfield's early music talking about it, right? Uh, and then you saw at a certain point in the 70s, maybe toward the mid 70s, going up into the later 70s, when I was just a small guy, uh, you had some healing going on, right? We'd healed some, and then you heard some different expressions, some higher vibrational frequency expressions, right? You heard some music that really expressed higher ideals, right? Uh, Music that really talked about us collectively getting to a better place in our lives, right? And that's where you, for me, um, not only just getting to a better place in our lives, but yeah, really some higher concepts and some things, if we really listen to the music, that are ageless, right? That are very much ageless. A lot of wisdom in the 70s music. That's the word. A lot of wisdom in that music. Frankie Beverly and Mays, Earth, Wind and Fire, Kool and the Gang, the whole nine. The early birth of hip hop, right? What hip hop sounded like early on with African Bombata. Uh, man, the Furious Five and the whole nine, man, just true epic music, man. I even remember, for me personally, listen to back then in the late 70s, well, I guess must have been the early 80s before my man Ice-T came around. But with the way he integrated a lot of that sort of pimp culture out of the late 70s, um, mixed with the gang culture of the early 80s, right? But musically, if you check him out, he was even dropping some things from time to time in there in his music, some lessons, some light. I don't know whether that was his intention or not, but I found some kind of dope stuff that helped me along in his music. But the point of all of this is, it's not really about these individual artists as much as the fact that music is that powerful tool, and as that powerful interface, right, with our higher vibrational selves, our higher dimensional selves, when we get and utilize modalities like that, we are touching directly into we're tapping directly into our higher selves, both in the creation of music like that and the way we absorb it and what we walk away from it with, right? What we get from the music. Um, yeah, man. We go through cycles in our lives. We've gone through cycles as a civilization, right? As a species. And music is a fantastic tool to capture that and to be reflective of our journey, right? Um, and you see it in the cycles of music, the way that music changes, and the way that it is very descriptive of and telling of our changes both individually um, and as a species, as a society, as an entire civilization. It's captured in music if we pay attention, right? And that's important for a lot of reasons, because we ought to use it as for the tool that it is, right? If we have those incredibly descriptive perspectives given in music, then we have incredibly descriptive lessons that we can learn, profound lessons that we can learn, and that can truly help to steer us, right, in the right direction collectively as a civilization, which is the point that we're at right now. And this is why I think that this is very apropos. It's very much fitting for what we're going through on this planet, because we're in a transformative time yet again. And in fact, the greatest transformative time, to be honest about it, because now we're at that time of collective ascension. There's a lot of us that have been waking up, right? There are a lot of us who have been going through our own process of awakening and beginning our personal evolution and ascension. And because of that, we have an impact on the collective, right? If you look at some of my earlier videos, I've spoken about how the microcosm can affect the macrocosm, right? We often look at it as a trickle-down sort of thing, where we only are affected by the masses, and that's not accurate. If we only have a reality where the macrocosm is constantly affecting the microcosm, to change it around or put it in different terms, the masses steering the individuals, right? If we only have that, then you just have following. What's that sound familiar to? What does that sound like? That sounds like what we have a lot going on today, right? A lot of following, where the masses, and whatever the movement of the masses is what a lot of individuals feel compelled to do. But it can be the other way around, right? It can be individuals having a profound and wide-reaching impact on the masses, right? I can give a parable of, think about a dark room, right? A pitch black room. There's no light in the room. All of a sudden you strike a match. Now that room could be vast, but that one little match and the light emanating from that one little match will provide at least some degree of light to nearly the entire room. Think about it, right? And that darkness will never put out that light. No matter how much darkness you got, it won't put out that light. That light will shine and provide light into the darkness, right? And it can happen the same way with people, right? It could be one or two or a small group of people that provide light that shines into the masses. And we've seen this and seen cycles of this in our lives and our evolution as a civilization, right? And that's all been reflected in our music, right? And every so often, just like we have really bright folks who severely or who greatly impact society or civilization on a whole, in music we see that pop up, right? You see your Marvin Gaye's, you know, a giant. Your Luther Vandross is a giant, you know. Your Tupac's, a giant, right? We see this in music, right? Your James Browns. It doesn't matter what era you go to. There's always an example of that. And look for more of that now. I've been beginning to notice it, right? For example, in hip-hop, as much as hip-hop has been taken over by the maniacal forces that control that industry, there's still bright talent popping up if you look for it. Search through those unsigned artists, right? Look for maybe some of the not so popular places, and even starting to pop up in more popular fashion, right? You can see it where cats is really starting to get back to putting content, complexity, and personality into their lyrics with a little individuality. What? Instead of just following the masses, you have the microcosm impacting the macrocosm. All right. So we see that, right? We see it in some other forms of music as well. And you'll continue to. And you'll likely see it more. And there'll be some more individuals who will pop up and affect the macro, right? Both in society, and we'll see it reflected in music. Perhaps myself. Maybe I could check the box in both of those categories. For those of you who have not checked me out yet, please check out Big King Sadiq Flexible, national release single from the album soon to come. And I got a couple other songs for promotional purposes on the channel. Check me out. But yeah, you know, we're going to see more and more of the cycles of life, especially us, once again, coming out of a very turbulent time. Not all the way out, but we are, for those who are paying attention, we are coming out of the turbulent times. We are in a point of being able to proclaim that we have defeated the dark forces. Hear me now. I'm telling you the truth. We have defeated the low vibrational frequency energies and entities that would love to cling to the old paradigm, and we are thriving on our entrance into the beginning of the beautiful new high vibrational frequency paradigm. True indeed, a paradigm of peace, love, respect. That is happening. And I'm saying that just as that cycle is happening, same way we came out of the 60s into the 70s, 70s into the 80s, etc., etc., etc. Heck, you want to say the 1800s into the 1900s, etc., etc. It's all cycles. We see the cycles in music, and we will be seeing that. So look forward. I've already seen some other cats coming out seriously with a lot of light. You know, and we just have to make sure that we support that. Folks, it's time to make a decision. You know, those of you who may have felt because of peer pressure, right? Which don't feel bad about that. Huh? Peer pressure is something that has affected people from as long as we can go back. So don't feel bad that you may be a little hesitant to be different and may have felt in different situations in your lives affected by peer pressure. That happens, right? But it's time to make a decision. If you are somebody who has, you know, not expressed yourself and let your light shine as brightly as you would have liked it to because of peer pressure or other societal influences, or just felt a little shy in doing so, don't feel that way anymore. Be yourself. If you got that beautiful love light in you, let it shine. You ain't got nothing to be, listen, you ain't got to try to make yourself look cool by clinging to the negativity of the old paradigm. That's one of the worst aspects of the old paradigm that we've seen, right? Which is that we got tricked into thinking that negativity equal being cool, especially in the black community, in the community of the melanated peoples. Got tricked into thinking that being negative and that being violent, right, was cool, was something to equate to being, you know, the man, right? Or that bitch, excuse my language. Nah, we got to get away from that. If you have it within you to strive for light, if you have it within you to choose to enjoy life in all the positive ways that you can see fit, do that, express that, speak that, live that. And don't be afraid to be that microcosm that affects the macrocosm. And I'm speaking this directly to artists as well, right? As a fellow artist, I know there are many of you who get caught up in the industry and affected by that, handcuffed by that, right? Many of you may be putting out music that we may deem negative, and it might not even be what you really want to release. I understand that. I don't place blame. I'm saying wherever and whenever we are able to stand up independently as artists and produce music that is about us getting out of the old paradigm, music that's about us moving forward and not backward, right? Music that is about us enjoying life and not just about suffering, right? I understand that many of us have gone through a whole lot and have looked to our music to find somebody who is echoing the pain that we feel. I understand that. But there's more than pain in life, folks, and we got to move forward with that in our music as well, right? Don't just have pain where you know, harmonizing about suffering and how much pain you in and how you got to, you know, not be able to trust anybody and how you can only live and die by the gun and how you can, you know, the only thing making you happy or feel happy is how much money you can stack up, you know, having that stack going down your arm and all that. Come on, man. We can enjoy life from the moment we wake up in the day. It's beautiful. When we look at one another, we can see light and beauty and positivity. We don't have to look at each other as villains and victims. Nah, folks. And we can echo more than that in our music. So let's do that. I see many who are starting to, and I implore all you ultra-talented artists to do that as well. Let's have vision in our music that is forward thinking, right? Let's start this like my man Av over there on the west, Evidence. Got the jam about chasing the clouds away. Like my man Wise Intelligent in the east with the jam Zion, with the y'all forget the brother he got with him, the Dread brother, right? Go look at those videos. That's just a small example of the positivity that it's all right to have that. You ain't got to be considered you ain't cool no more because you had a jam where you actually enjoyed yourself and showed other people enjoying life. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Huh? You can do that. And it can still be a popular jam, some popular music. Create that. Let's let that be what the direction that music is moving in to echo the cycle that we want to direct ourselves toward, that we're moving into now, right? Let's do that. Music is powerful. It impacts the people. It sways the people. So let's sway them and impact it with something beautiful, right? Hey man, I ain't tooting my own horn, but listen to some of my songs, right? I guarantee you ain't getting nothing but peace, love, respect, right? Somebody asked me the other day, what kind of music you got? I said, man, it's hip hop, right? But I need to identify my brand of hip hop. I'm coming with what I call pure hip hop. Not old school, new school, not signed, unsigned, independent. I'm coming with pure hip hop, straight from the heart, right? So let's keep the beauty in music representing the beauty we want to see in life. Let's let the cycle of life that we want to move into be foretold in the beautiful music we make today. I say that to those who make the music, and I say to those who listen to the music, strive to find that kind of music. Accept that kind of music. Pump that kind of music, right? And maybe pump the music about pain and suffering and hate. Maybe pump that a little less, right? Maybe listen to that a little less. And let's cling on to a little positivity. There's nothing wrong with enjoying yourself in music. Have a good time. It's music. Huh? You should be able to dance a little bit. What? Just a little? You ain't got to break out the kid and play step, but you should at least be able to nod to it. Huh? Alright. Again, we want to see positive cycles, and we're starting to move into positive cycles in life. So let's echo that. Matter of fact, let's foretell that in our cycles of music, right? So those producing music, let's get this positive, forward-thinking music out there. Those who buy music, who live music, who consume music, who love music and listen to it, cling toward that positive music, right? Cling toward that music with heart and feeling. Cling toward that music that got a message for you. Cling toward that music that you might could dance to a little bit. Cling toward that music that you could nod your head to. And by the way, folks, never mind. I ain't gonna get on the dancing and all that. Another video. Hey, worldwide movement. Peace, love, respect. Big King Sadiq. I'm out.